Hey everybody, it's the Modern Native. So I've been on YouTube for a year and I've made it up to my 1,000 subscribers and I've published over 300 videos, and I wanted to kind of give you guys my takeaway and my experience and my tactics, the way I designed my channel, the way I went about doing it and everything else. I wanted to be able to share that with you guys and give you guys my process, and hopefully it can help some of you in your YouTube journey and your growth process. So if you're just starting out a YouTube channel or you're thinking about starting one and you're not quite sure, research everything and definitely just try to get people's experience and check out what other content creators, what their journeys were like. It definitely give you a general idea about what to expect or how things can play out for you. So that's just the opening statement on that bit. So I'm gonna start out with why I started my channel. June of last year. Thanks, Bud Files. Thanks for joining. June of last year, I started my channel, and originally I just wanted to be a bushcraft and survival channel. But then as I got into it, I wanted to incorporate anything I can do in the outdoors. Hey, Hooks and Hammocks, how's it going? So I wanted to expand my channel. But what most people don't realize is the real deep down, true to my heart, the reason why I wanted to start my channel was actually to be heard. I know that sounds weird, but in my day-to-day life, there was a lot of times where people wouldn't hear me when I talked. They wouldn't listen. They would space out and ignore me. They would cut me off. It got really frustrating in my life, the fact that I couldn't get through a single story, a single sentence, anything without being shut down. So I was like, well, you know what? If I'm sitting in front of a camera, I'm the one that controls that stop button, so nobody can cut me off until I'm done. So I'll start a YouTube channel and I'll share my experience, my knowledge, thoughts, and I wanted to share my outdoor adventures, bushcrafting, survival. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, I pretty much do everything outside. Everything can be outside. One of my series I got to start back up is Wild Rants in the Woods, and that's just, kind of me running my mouth talking about stuff that bothers me that I want to share. So, thanks, Butthoff. So yeah, that's like to the core of it why I wanted to start my channel. But my strategy right from the start was I wanted saturation. Everything I saw, everything I read talked about, having a lot of videos, exposure, social accounts, and this, that, and the other. So I kind of went ham on that. Right from the beginning, I was like, okay, if I'm starting today, I want to have more than 7 videos by next week. So then from that point on, I wanted to stay what I called video positive. And that was for every day I was on YouTube, I wanted at least one video or more for that time span. So 30 days, I needed to have more than 30 videos. I fell short because life got in the way, mental health issues, and just life in general. And I fell off for quite a bit. And that was bad, but I'm back to it, and I'm right there. Thanks, D-Man. I appreciate that. And so I wanted to share my stuff as often as much as possible. I wanted to get that exposure. I wanted to be out there as much as possible. So I was like, well, if I cover as large amount of topics as I can, as many topics as I can, as fast as I can, that means there'll be more of me out there, which will be more of a chance that someone will run across me searching, browsing, suggested videos, things like that. And it worked. Between my shorts, standard content, and my live streams, I grew very, very fast. Now, a lot of my stuff is short form content, standard videos. I haven't done a whole ton of live streams, but it's been sporadic. So when it really comes down to it, the shorts help you loop in new subscribers, people that never saw you, nothing else. They're scrolling through their shorts feed and they run across you. That quick, easy little subscribe button's down at the bottom of the screen, nice and easy. So I made sure I was pumping out shorts. I wanted to loop in those new people. I made sure that I was trying to grab searchable content, starting bushcrafting, what is bushcrafting, different survival questions, different camping questions. And then I started doing my vlog. Thanks, D-Man. Huge updates on my Patreon if you want to drop that link for me. The short form content, and when I started going on my camping trips and actually being able to spend time out in the woods and stuff like that, I started doing like the vlogging style 5-day camping trips, this, that, and the other. And, it was useful. It was very helpful. And you can apply that strategy to all different kinds of channels and niches that you can. If it's gaming and you're not just focused on one game, play multiple games or multiple platforms. If you're into fashion, beauty, makeup, things like that, it's going on 351 Cleveland. Make sure you expand to different brands, share the different brands and this, that, and the other if you're not actually part of that, or the different styles. Make sure that it's always you're expanding as far as you can to wrap around your niche, because when it comes down to it, if I'm only doing bushcrafting videos, yeah, there's a ton of channels out there, there's a ton of people who want to watch it, but if all I'm doing is bushcrafting, that's a very small view. But if I'm doing bushcrafting, camping, well, I just doubled my spans, triple even. Now, then you add in survival, then you add in life tips, then you add in the cabin life, then you add in homesteading, and you can just, the fish gets bigger the more you tell the story. So, that's the best example I can think of at the moment. So it's like, I'm very happy with my growth so far. I wish I had some more watch time, but that's mainly because I'm not spamming on the live streams. I could have had 14, 15,000 watch hours by now if I just sat here doing live streams, nonsensical crap. But that's most of the live streams that are like that don't have a topic like this one, how I'm doing this. This is meant to be broken up later on. This is meant to be, it's video on demand thing where it's already uploaded and saved and people can watch that later on. I'm trying to keep it focused on subject, topic, and keep it consistently paced through the video, so that way when I'm done, years down the line, when people start thinking about being on YouTube and growing and stuff like that, they might run into this video and it'll still be relevant. But a hangout and chat video, it's not relevant long term. Unless somebody's really into you and they want to see the different things you talk about and the different little tidbits you drop in conversation, those are going to be the hardcore people that watch those old live streams like that. But standard form content, short form, that's really the two things that really will be there for the long time. And going on, Andy, it'll be there for the long time, and it'll be able to come back to relevance. Like, it'll still be relevant later on because people will still be looking for it, searching for it, and talking about that subject. But nobody cares what happened last week to you 3 years ago. So, I mean, that's what those live streams are. It's really good for the beginning to build up your hours, but for the long term, for the searchability, for that reoccurrence, it's not. So I'm actually almost at 1,300 subscribers now. I'm 320 videos in. I actually didn't look at how many views I have in total in my about page on the bottom where it tells you how many views you have in total. I haven't looked at that in a long time. But my growth is still doing good. I fell off for months and people were still like, it was a trickle feed, but people were still coming back to my channel, checking it out. New people were discovering it. It was just a little bit, but because I'm so active on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, so much more so than most creators, as soon as I fell off, people fell out of the habit. So now that I'm back, I'm hoping people will pick the habit back up to watching me, cluing in, this, that, and the other. I've been seeing some older friends popping in that haven't been around for a while. So it's awesome. It's working. So the next steps is always thinking about, after you get it going and after you start growing, your next steps is thinking about how to expand. I had an Instagram, but I wasn't on it. I'm back on it regularly. I had my Patreon, but I only had 3 patrons, so I wasn't doing much on there until recently, because at the time I wasn't doing anything on YouTube, so I didn't really have anything to announce on Patreon. So that fell off, and I'm super happy that they were loyal and they stuck with me, but now it's paying off because I'm coming back and I'm producing a lot of content and I'm putting up my updates, my sneak previews, my video requests and everything else. I'm making sure that goes up there so that way people can see that. And D-Man dropped that link for me, so appreciate it. that D-Man. So it's like the next step was to expand. I started my webpage and my mobile app for my members. I expanded more of my merchandise in my 3 merch stores because I created those early on as well. Not so much, guaranteeing, like knowing I was going to have people who wanted to buy it. I knew it was going to take a while, but I wanted to have it set up so I can work on it, expand it, work on the details and this, that, and the other. So I could do it incrementally as I went. So when it comes down to the point where people are actually like, I really want to buy this guy's merch. I want to represent him. I want to help him out and support the channel. When people are really getting into doing that, I'll have a huge variety on my stores. So it was all about expansion and diversifying. And now I'm posting on Instagram, on my Patreon, on Facebook, on different Facebook groups. I've even started a TikTok, which I'm not releasing or announcing, but if you want to find it, you can find it. Just think. I've been diversifying and expanding because those things I'm using to collect new people to send them to YouTube. It's not like my Patreon where I'm grabbing everybody from these different platforms and trying to send them there. I'm trying to send everybody from these different platforms onto here because this is where most of my content is. This is where most people can watch and get their updates and everything else. So why do you diversify? Because it helps. Because you can reach huge audiences that weren't part of it. You can even get people who aren't even on YouTube to come to YouTube. So it's like diversifying and expanding your social reach, your platforms, and even what you have to offer will definitely help you expand to reach different tastes, to reach different genres, the demographics, countries, things like that. It'll help you reach out much farther and faster than if you're just waiting for YouTube to suggest and send and recommend. You have to put in some of that work too. But also, there's that fine line between not promoting, self-promotion, and over-promotion. If you oversaturate and you're all like, oh, I'm about the numbers, I just want the numbers, not going to do anything for you. So one thing that I did notice is the effect of my hiatus. Earlier this year, right about, I think, 8 months into doing YouTube, there was a bunch of life issues. Things were in the way. I was under a lot of stress. I was under a lot of mental anguish, as you could put it. And it was just, I was in a bad mental state. Now, I chose to stop doing YouTube at that time because I wasn't burnt out. I still had subjects. I still had videos I had lined up, ready to play, ready to make. But previously, just before I left, one of my subscribers, Mike's Fishing Home, he's been a big supporter of mine. He's been around a lot, and he was watching my stuff, and he was on one of my lives, and he said he was watching the replay, and he goes, man, I don't know what's going on, but, you weren't be a native and go beast. You were just go beast. You didn't seem your normal go beast self. So what's going on? And that made me realize that even though I did appreciate that he cared, and I really appreciated that he pointed out that that was noticeable, it really made me see that my mental state, my emotional state was affecting my channel. It was coming through and bleeding through, even though I'm trying to stay positive and put on the face for you guys, but it was coming through, and it was actually starting to, not saying that people wouldn't want to watch me because I'm depressed, but maybe new people wouldn't be as interested because I'm not as upbeat. I'm not as go get it, go beast, kind of thing. So that was going to damage my channel in the long run more than stopping putting out content. I stopped putting out content so that way that didn't taint my channel. I wanted people to be positive and upbeat and, ambitious for going for the outdoors and just feeling the joy and the love. But if I'm feeling like crap, I'm down in the dumps and I'm just depressed, I'm not going to be able to inspire anybody to go out there and have fun. So that's why I stopped. Now, the effect of that, well, it was immediately noticeable that I had a huge drop in traffic. Oh, you stay safe, Rob. Definitely be safe out there with that wildfire. Go save some lives and save some nature. but be safe. Thanks for tuning in. So the immediate effect of the hiatus was it was like 100 to 200 views every day. And then it was a week or so after I stopped uploading, it dropped. It was like 20, 40, 60 a day. And that became my steady average for quite a long time. The lowest it dropped to was like 11, 12 a day. And that was when I really was like, man, I really got to get back into it. But people started posting less, started commenting less, and asking me questions about, if I was coming out, why haven't I uploaded? Where am I? Everything all right? And I appreciated it. And people were on lives asking about me. So I really appreciated the support and the community still thinking of me, even though I wasn't present. So I definitely appreciate that. And, it goes to show that people understand that we're all human, even the big content creators, me, everybody else, we're all human. We all have this stuff happen to them and to us. So it's like, when it comes down to it, I really appreciate the support, the patience, and the respect everybody had when it came to everything that was going on. So, and that coming to that's something else that I really emphasize on my channel is I thank every single one of my supporters, every single one of my commenters, every single one of everybody who even just looks at my stuff, because every watch counts. Even if you're not subscribed, even if you throw me a thumbs down, thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me your opinion. So it's like, I appreciate every single subscriber, every single follower, every patron, everybody on my Instagram, everybody on Facebook, everybody who is connected to me in some form or fashion, and everybody who's come out to be a true friend, like Rocky Mountain Life Prospecting. True to his word, he'll text me pictures. He literally just texted me pictures of the wildfire that he's going out to go fight. So definitely keep him in your thoughts. But it's people like that came out of this to be real friends, that we shared numbers and we're in communication and we check up on each other. It's awesome. I love this community. I love YouTube. I love this whole process. And if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube, if you've been considering starting one and you've been kind of hemming and hawing, start one. Name it. Just at the very least, just name the channel, something simple, something easy to find. The fewer words, the better. I can't emphasize that enough. Sorry, my eye itched. I think a bug hit me. But get out there and start your channel. Even if you're not making content yet, just kind of start filling out the information, getting your name on there. Start thinking about what you want to do. Start writing out some scripts or some video ideas, even if you don't do full scripts. I mean, when it comes down to it, these are my scripts. Each page is a different video. So it's like, each page is a different video, and it's not a huge, like this one is. That's it. I know I got chicken scratch, but that's all I do to plan out my videos. 1 year, 1,000 subscribers, 300 videos, my journey. And then I put down my footnotes. So, as the last part says, my challenge for this video is for all of you who haven't started your channel yet to get out there and do it. And for those of you who have a channel who haven't expanded, that's my challenge to you. Expand and diversify. Go into another social media. Even just put your name out there. Start something that you can use to expand, like a Patreon, a Bonfire, a Teespring, a Spreadshirt, any of those stores. If you want to pay for a Shopify, I haven't gotten to that point yet. It's get out there and expand, diversify, and spread. That's what it is. Go forth and multiply. So, code word for this live. I usually save it for the longer ones, but I have to do it. Code word for this live for my replay champions. Put it down in the comment section. Multiply. multiply. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, my insights, my journey, and my 3 best tips. Stay video positive. Put as much content out there as you can. Stay focused on the broad aspect of your niche and answer every single comment. That's something that I do. I answer every single comment that I get, except for on one post, which was I was asking just in general what people wanted, what they wanted to see. I didn't want my voice or my vote to change how that went, so I wasn't commenting on that post. But other than that, you can look through my whole channel. It's the only things I haven't commented on. People like that connection, that response, and that connectivity. So, till next time, get out there, be a native, and go beast.